Hello there. Hi guys. Hello. How you getting on? You alright?
Grown up now.
I saw you on the morning show.
What?
Bright and early.
Literally this morning? Good lord, that was too bright and early for me.
You look wide awake.
Well, bless you, the wonders of makeup, eh? Felt like my eyes were bleeding. It was.
Eyes are bleeding. Oh, that's
Yeah, sure. You want me to put that on you?
Anybody else need transitioning here? Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else?
That's the way forward, mate.
Funny comment.
Look at this. Sorry, I had to comment. That is wow. That's quite a bit of kit. Very impressed. It is. I feel like it's going to blow up or something.
So did you survive last night premiere?
Very much so. It was delightful. We had a great time. No, go for it. She's detonating it. All good?
Yeah. I see what.
Sorry, do you want me to?
No, that's fine.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Thank you. Last night, yes, it was great fun. The heavens didn't open on us, so we stayed dry, which was great. And yeah, the fans gave us such a very warm welcome, which is always nice.
And I was seeing with unbleached hair.
Yes.
That's a relief to not have to be doing that to hair for like 10 years.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Needless to say, it's a look that takes quite a lot of upkeep. It's bizarre actually, because I go up to random people, usually women who have dyed blonde hair, and I feel your pain. It's not
You just go up to random women.
Random women on the street saying, "Yeah, I feel for you." It's not an easy look to upkeep.
Can you escape the fans, or do they bust you when you're out in public?
No, I mean that's the beauty of it, is that the Malfoys have such an iconic look of white hair and even whiter skin. So it's as soon as you do the opposite, it's really nice. I have to convince them that I'm the guy who plays it. I've been places with a picture saying, no, it is. Look. So it's actually quite nice that, yeah.
So much of your performance is really kind of in your expression on your face. I mean, obviously you have dialogue and everything, but a lot of it is kind of an internal thing that just has to come through your eyes and your expressions and stuff like that. How challenging is that for you?
It's so nice because Draco is such a well-written character. I mean, they're all beautifully written characters, but he's so defined, and I feel like there's no hesitation when I'm playing him, which is so nice. I'm sure that's over 10 years of getting to know him, of course, as well. But yeah, to me, he's a very defined character, and a lot of the time, yeah, you don't need the words. And I'm very lucky again that we have such fantastic actors around me. Really, little effort was required. I had to do more, not to laugh when Daniel and I were about 2 inches away. That was far more of a worry. But yeah, we had great fun doing that.
Is there any particular scene in any of the films that you kind of wish I could have been in that scene, even as another character?
Wow, I never thought about that. There's that scene we did in the second film. Actually, this is completely off the point of your question, but there was a scene that Jason and I did in the second film, the first scene that we ever shot, that was actually cut from the film. I would have liked to have seen that make the film. That would have been good.
What was the scene?
The scene was outside Borgin and Burke's, where he goes in and purchases the diary. He gets slipped the diary, Tom Riddle's diary. Yeah, and that got cut out. I'm trying to think. I'm a big fan of Lockhart. Gilderoy Lockhart is always my favourite character, or one of them certainly. So I would have loved to have been in that scene actually at the end where he loses his memory and he has no idea where he is. I find that hilarious.
Tom, David has a very quiet voice and demeanor, but he can be a very commanding director. Can you talk a bit about how he thought you guys had him?
Sure. I mean, I owe everything to David. Before working on the sixth film, actually, I wasn't even sure whether I wanted to do this really as a living, and he has well and truly embedded a massive passion for filmmaking. He's the most enthusiastic man I've ever worked with, and also the most gentle and approachable, which is really nice. But to know that he's actually been working now for basically a year solid without a break, literally, and he's still so excited now to start crack on with the next part. And it was so nice again last night to see him at the after party, genuinely asking the cast and family and friends, what did you think of it? He really cares, and it's so nice to have that sort of passion on the set.
What was your hardest scene?
Possibly the stuff with in the Malfoy Manor, actually, where we're in a sort of table much like this, and I'm surrounded by these evil figures of the dark world, which of course in reality are my heroes in the acting world. So it took me 2 days to actually say anything. I was completely silent for a couple of days, and then slowly started to speak up. But that was purely hard just from the point of view that I was getting mesmerised by everyone else's performances. So I had to kind of pinch myself to say, yeah, try to stay in character and crack on with the job.
Was there a new approach, or that came naturally?
Yeah, it's a real continuation of where he was last time, really. He was in a point where he had the opportunity to, embed himself in the realms of evil, and he realises that he can't do that. And this film only gets worse for the poor bugger, because his house has been taken over by possibly the worst house guest you can ask for, and he's a boy amongst men who really doesn't want to be there. And I think in this film you really see him. Well, certainly over the next 2 films, you see him kind of grow a conscience, and even though his loyalties lie still with his family, etc., there's definitely something happening inside him where he doesn't, he's starting to think for himself for once rather than sort of following in his father's footsteps. So that's nice.
Have you seen any of film 7, or obviously you finished shooting it, haven't you? But
yes.
You don't get to see it. I mean, you haven't seen any of the cuts or anything yet. So.
You refer to the next film?
The next film.
No, I only saw the last film yesterday for the first time. Yeah. Which every journalist for the last 3 weeks has been telling me all about it. Very interesting. So it's nice to finally put those words to.
Is that always your experience? You don't see it till the.
I like to. I really like to wait. There's something so nice about the energy in the cinema, and everyone kind of applauds when it comes on. That little. The tune that's played on the sort of glockenspiel straight away shivers down my spine, and I'm in there. Even I'm getting tingly thinking about it now. But it was really, really nice. I much prefer to watch it with everyone else, definitely.
What did you think? I mean, how did you feel at the end of it?
I was blown away. It happened it all went before my eyes. Someone told me it was 2 and a bit hours.
2:20 or something.
It flew by as far as I'm concerned. It felt like an hour to me. And it really had such a lovely transition. It looked visually stunning, I thought, for the stuff in the woods just looked so beautiful. And the acting was phenomenal, especially from Daniel, Rupert and Emma. I really thought, especially Rupert. I love seeing Ron as this, pissed off guy rather than this happy daffy guy. So it was nice to see the actual conflict between the 3 of them. And I think all 3 of them really shone.
Was there a particular day on set, or at some point when it sort of hit you emotionally that this is the end?
I wish it did. It never did.
It
still hasn't. No. It's quite bizarre, actually. Yeah, because the last day I did a terrifically British thing of sort of shaking everyone's hand with my head down, going thank you, and then just walked off before I started blubbing like a girl. Yeah, it was. No one really knew what to say. To be honest with you, it was kind of awkward in every sense of the word. We didn't know how to really say goodbye, and also it's not goodbye because we've got so long to go now and so much more to look forward to. So in one respect, it is that sad realization that we're not going to go back to Hogwarts, but also that we have we're really, really excited about ending on such a high note, really.
Well, career-wise, what are you looking forward to? What would you like to do at this point?
Just to continue acting, really. I've been so grateful for the last 10 years, and it would be wondrous to continue that. Obviously, it's quite hard to go up when you start on Harry Potter. Yeah. Needless to say, it's going to be a different style of project, whatever's next. But I hope I can find something that I'm passionate about and that I can really sink my teeth into and put some of myself into. Fingers crossed.
Do you think it'll be more film or stage or?
I really haven't closed any doors. My eyes are wide open to any opportunities out there right now that I find interesting. So. A little bit. I recorded a few songs, and I do it for fun. It's a real passion. But then I'd always regret it and look back and think, I wish I'd done that. And I've got, we're really looking to try and help young singer-songwriters getting their music out there instead of kind of being screwed over by the big guns. So fingers crossed for that. We're still very, very early on, but we're hoping for next year to do some good stuff.
It'll be a big year on it.
Fingers crossed.
Is it called Six String?
Yeah, 6-string product, as in the same as how many strings there are on a guitar. 6 strings. So yeah.
And do you sing or do you?
A bit of both, really. Yeah, I play guitar and I sing poorly, but
Would you ever consider a musical like Dan?
Yeah, very much so. Actually, I know Daniel's been singing and dancing. He does it beautifully. He does it very well. So yeah, fingers crossed. Maybe one day I would. I know if I did, I would go straight to him for some advice.
Even on the dancing after that scene in the tent.
Quite shocking, wasn't it? That's actually one of the nicest scenes in the film.
Bad.
It was actually, because I can assure you, I've seen him move, and
I need to know that before I ask him.
again, a great example of Daniel's fantastic acting, because I have seen him move, and he does the foxtrot and the tango and all sorts of stuff that I can't even pronounce. So yeah, that was credit to him there for making it look so shambolic.
You're filming in the States recently. You're filming something right now?
I just finished shooting something in New Orleans, an independent film called From the Rough.
Can you talk about the differences between filming for that and the giant production?
I can't describe how different they really were. Polar opposites. Time is really what it is. I mean, money buys you time, and the luxury that Warner's had on this was 280 days, or nearly 300 days to do 2 films, whereas we had 21 to do 1 film and From the Rough, and it's not. I mean, in many ways it's great because the energy of the scene stays there, and you shoot that, and then you just switch the camera around and you go that way, which is really nice rather than waiting 4 hours in between. But equally, you know, it's so nice on Potter they had such attention to detail and care, and if it wasn't right, then they come back tomorrow and they shoot it again. So whereas it's very different in the real world, it's very different because films are kept to a ridiculous schedule, and they have to move on regardless of the quality. So that's always a bit of a concern, and it was a real learning lesson for me that. No 25 takes. You got 2 to get it right. And it was rather a wake up call.
What kind of a role were you playing in this, and what was the name of it again?
Yeah, From the Rough. It's based on a true story about a famous American coach who wants to bring some diversity to the school. So she hands out 5 golf scholarships to 5 internationals. A Korean chap, an Australian, a French Algerian, an American, and a Brit. And I play the South Korean. I said that yesterday to a deadpan team. I said, just to confirm, I'm not playing the Korean. I'm the British guy. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun doing that, actually. Yeah. So I really enjoyed my time out there.
What kind of sport was it?
Golf. So I didn't mention that. Yeah, golf. That was if it was ballet or tap dancing, I may have not been quite so keen to jump in it. But golf was very much so, avidly. Actually, oddly, about 3 months before the film actually came up, I started, so it was quite nice.
And your handicap?
My eyes, swing. Sorry, that's terrible. Again, I got a deadpan result for that one yesterday as well. So thanks for the sympathy.
You're awake at this.
Golf is called A Beautiful Walk Ruined by
Yes, but very, very famous. Yeah, of course. About 15, something like that. So not too bad, but not too good.
We don't rely on these things, these press books, for accuracy, but it does mention the Planet of the Apes film. Are you involved?
Very much so.
Tell us a little bit.
There is a prequel to Planet of the Apes called Rise of the Apes, and it is all the explanation and and really the fantastic story to how the apes ever came to power. And it's told in such a fantastic way. Definitely one of the best scripts I've ever read.
You play a human?
Yes, I do. That's the first question actually that everyone asked. It was the first one my friends asked, and when I got that response, it was they wanted to see me as a monkey, but unfortunately not. It's a fantastic, like I said, a fantastic story. There's great people acting in it. James Franco is leading. Frida Pinto is his love interest, and we have Andy Serkis actually playing our lead ape. All with motion capture. It's really pushing the boundaries of Avatar style CGI. So it's going to really set a new precedent, I think.
What do you play?
My particular role. My father owns an ape facility, or a primate facility, in which we look after the apes. Of course, I'm not the kindest man to my residents, and I torture them with a whole host of weapons.
So you're being typecast as a baddie already?
Well, needless to say, that one was a fairly well. To be fair, they couldn't be more different. I mean, one's an evil psychopath blonde Nancy-like wizard, and one's a kid who's just desperate for attention, so he finds bullying animals amusing. However, they are both unpleasant, and
You're not blonde in it, are you?
no, thank God. Actually, Rupert, the guy who wound me up, he said, as soon as I got there, he was like, yeah, but you know we're going blonde for this one. And he let me hang for 2 days before saying I was playing. God, it's terrifying.
Where were you shooting?
That was in Vancouver. And what a fantastic place that was. Really, really enjoyed
Much
it.
like London.
Well, actually, it was quite similar. Certainly for its, great city and vibrant nightlife and lots of things to do and see.
You finished?
Yes, that was a month. We did that about 2 months ago now. So. Loved it.
What was it like to meet Scorpius for the first time when you talked to
That was kind of
him?
weird. That was kind of weird, actually. What was even weirder is that they brought me in for the casting, for me just to come in and sit down and talk to the child and interact with him and just see if we get on or whatever. And it was really bizarre because I was ready to do it and I was didn't think anything of it, and walked in to this room in which that I had walked in 10 years previous, sat on the same couch that this young kid was, and was asked almost the same questions that Fiona Weir, the casting director, was asking him, and I didn't know what to say. I kind of walked in there and shook his hand and sat down and stared at him. It was a bit weird, really. Just purely because of the relevance of it. I really thought, wow, if you had told me when I was that age that I would be back here 11 years later casting my son, I would have, very, very bizarre. But needless to say, it was, I got over that, and it was good fun. I had a great son. Scorpius is a good little lad.
Was it nice to return to King's Cross, where?
Yeah, again, very, very relevant, and certainly, such a real case of nostalgia going back there, because again, almost 10 years to the date. We were there as little 12-year-olds being put on the train ourselves, and here we are 30 years on, or supposedly, and we're putting our own kids on. So yeah, actually that was one of the last things that I shot, and it was quite nice to end on that, obviously, and even nicer after looking at yourself as a mid-50-year-old all day at the end, just yes, it was a good feeling. Yeah, literally.
What did you take from Potter School?
Nothing. Well, what can I say? What can I not say? I stuffed a couple of nimbuses up my trouser legs on the way. Actually, no, they actually had rather rigorous security checks, and with good reason. My first instinct was I'd love to have had everything of Draco's, but in hindsight, they're actually going to put them into museums and put them to good use rather than sitting in a box in my attic. However, they did give me the Slytherin ring that Draco's wears. He wears a silver Salazar Slytherin ring, so I keep that on my mantelpiece and treasure it.
How does it feel like? Because I saw your thing with Jeff Bocher, where you went on a little tour of the Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And also, I just read last week that they're starting something here, a kind of little museum.
That's right. Yeah, sure. Well, the Leavesden Studios are actually going to be turning into a full Warner's lot, like the one in Burbank. Yes, it was amazing being there. They told me that there was a little museum or thing to visit. I didn't realise it was going to be quite to that scale. They literally had, probably about 100 different props. And actually, there was something very, very sentimental that was nice. There was a drawing that I did in the third film of Harry being struck by lightning. And I remember the art department giving me a drawing of Harry, and I said that was useless. Give it here, let me draw my own one. I spent about an hour with the quill mastering this. This is my real work of art, and that's in the museum. And when I saw that, I was a little touched. It was nice to see it. So I had a great time there. That's the one in Burbank. Yes. As far as I know, the plans for Leavesden are imminently about to start. So I'm very excited for that as well.
You've had such a good run, the whole Potter thing. Any regrets at all?
I'm not taking more pictures, I guess. I wish I'd taken more pictures. I mean, and I wish I'd done more, got more personal memories. Really, I mean, I'm very lucky because I have the last 4 films of the scripts. I've got them signed in the front, which is I treasure those. And I have a letter from Joe Rowling that I've framed, and I treasure that as well. So I make sure I take care of the things that are sentimental to me.
Can you kind of watch the early films?
No. A very quick answer for that one. No, I can, of course. We're immensely proud of them, but they're a whole separate thing from what they are now, I think. And it's never nice to see yourself that young with that high of a voice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Or disarm me. Great.
Talking to us.
My pleasure. Thanks for the questions.
Thank you.
Have a great day.